Hi there, guys. Welcome again. So, uh, play one game today, which I'm going to show you now. Playing with black, and I was playing a 1130-ish kind of player from India, Rohan, and it was a exciting game. As you'll see, I got up in material quite quickly, but he put up a big fight, and it took me a long time to convert this winning game, which it didn't feel like, into an actual win. So here we go. Um, yeah, normal stuff. Just bringing out the knight here to prevent the queen from coming in. This does look like a free pawn, but I don't think it actually is because I think there's a line where you go like this, and I don't know, you're into trouble. Actually, this seems to be good for me. Uh, this is actually quite winning for me. Okay, I didn't think so because I'm up two pawns. How did this? Oh, because he sacrificed his bishop and it didn't get into something, and then maybe, you know, he brings his knight out and you bring it back, and it's all honky dory. Okay, I need to remember that for next time. I thought it was a poison pawn somehow, but oh, hang on, this didn't happen. No, so I didn't go for that pawn, and yeah, so Stockfish actually does recommend it because it's a free pawn. Okay. I think I fell into some kind of trap like this and it didn't feel so good. Um, yeah, okay. Need to remember that for next time. So yeah, just developing. I wanted to prevent him from coming in, both with his knight or bishop. And then my opponent made a blunder. He, and I've done this twice also. He misread a tactic. Actually, not just yet. Oh yeah. Because my bishop needed to be here, and then my opponent must have thought he had a tactic. He's sacrificing the knight, and normally what then happens if, but then this bishop shouldn't be here. Um, yeah, so imagine this bishop isn't here. You recapture, he forks you, and then he won a pawn. But if he if I take, and if he would then fork me, I can't just take, and I won a piece. Am I right? Yeah, I'd be a piece up against the pawn. Yeah. So um, I took, and my opponent actually didn't fork me. I must have been tilted somehow, and don't know why. He could have just retreated his bishop, but he decided to sacrifice his bishop. And there's actually a couple of ways I can retake. I can retake with the king, but then I'd lose castle rights. Or I could just retake with the bishop, with the knight. Keep getting them mixed up. And I did see that the bishop can't do anything, and the queen cannot come in for a check because this square is covered by the knight. So it was easy peasy. So I won now a knight and a bishop. So I'm up two pieces. Uh, but yeah, man, he made it difficult for me, or I made it difficult for myself. I don't know. I'm struggling to, as I said, convert this position into an end game, into a winning end game, to winning the game. And obviously, he got a good strong center now. He castles. Obviously, I cannot take this pawn because, well, actually, I can. I think probably Stockfish would have recommended this because then you can bring the pawn. Now I need to no, but then he might push the pawn and you're no. Stockfish this thinks this is right. I push. That's my push. My pushy cat. My cat. Hello, hello. Yeah. So now I obviously could get the pawn, and he's just getting counterplay, pushing the pawns. I needing to react. Yeah, I did consider going here and here, but then I thought like maybe he's pushing me away again, and then I didn't have a good square to go to. And now he's just pushing on the pawns, making life somewhat difficult for me. I need to find and create a safe square for my bishop to go to, in case he starts pushing the pawns further. And yeah, oh yeah, then I did think, oh, this is not so good for me, but then I saw like I can either capture, and he recaptures. Um, yeah, in both ways there was a way to trade queens, which I obviously really wanted to do. Trade queens. That's the biggest thing to do when you're up ahead. I know that. So I did see, and now I can bring in a check here. Do it either with the bishop or with the queen, but I thought like let's do the queen. Get the queens off, and now I can also trade off pony for the bishop. Yeah, because trading is good for me. And another free pawn, and another free pawn. Yeah, so I'm well, way up. Like 4 pawns against 5 pawns, and yeah, 2 pieces up. So, but man, he made my life difficult. Or, as I said, I might have made it difficult for myself. So I thought like, okay, let's find a way to trade off the rooks and minor pieces, but keep everything defended. And he obviously has 2 pawns here, which are not broken through. But I thought like if he can somehow grab 1 or 2 pawns here, I might be in trouble. So maybe I was too worried about keeping everything defended and also all the pawns defended, because that obviously restricts my play, because I'm just focusing all my attention on defending everything. So maybe that's something I need to learn. And I wasn't too happy with this because now all the pawns are on the dark squares, which is the square of the bishop. Yeah, just developing some stuff and wanted to get out of any, because obviously it's defended by a minor piece and a major piece, and I didn't want to keep them as a defender. I wanted them to be free to do whatever they need to do. So now it's defended by the king. Yeah, I guess he's just creating an escape square for his king. Yeah, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get counterplay. And I was thinking I could let myself be retaken or take, but I thought like this is the best move apparently. Let's just trade down as much as we possibly can. This is 1 pawn gone, so he's only got 1 pawn. But the problem is I need to stay here, because obviously this is an important pawn, keeping this one away from the promoting. So I needed to guard this pawn at all time. So my rook is kind of stuck here. So I didn't like my position. Am I just shuffling my stuff around? Oh, I am actually. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to do, to be honest. And I thought like, oh, well, you can have my knight. That's straight material. That's good for me. But obviously I needed to defend this pawn, because otherwise he would be able to grab this pawn. So yeah, now this pawn is defended, so this knight is free to go wherever it wants. So that's what I'm doing. And this one is defended, this pawn is defended, this one is defended. Everything is defended. But this needs to stay here, which I wasn't happy about. Oh well, it wasn't actually here anymore, so I thought like, let's trade rooks, which he didn't want to have, and then I thought like double up and forced rook trades, but then he managed to, yeah, just end that dream. So I thought like, okay, I had the feeling I needed to go here with my knight. A knight here and a knight here. Like give a check and then defend this. So these pawns can't move. And maybe then I have some nice follow-up. That's the feeling I had. So that was the goal I had. Now, obviously I'm losing a pawn. And I saw like if I can go here, I can either win a bishop or a pawn. And this one is obviously attacked then twice, so I was going to lose this anyway, but I thought like, well, I'm happy to give up this pawn for that pawn, because then he wouldn't have a passed pawn anymore, so that's what we did. So now it's, the pawns are equal, so I've lost some material, kudos to my opponents, but there's still 2 pieces up, but yeah, this guy was just giving me a hard time converting this to a win. And now I thought give a check, as I spoke about just now, defend my knight with a knight, and these pawns cannot advance anymore. So I was quite happy with this position. And then he was still trying to get some counterplay. I stepped out of the way, get to like a light square where he cannot ever tease me away again. And yeah, and then I don't know why he did this, but he fumbled. So I obviously needed to find out if I could safely grab this bishop. And then I could see like the only thing he can do is offer a trade, or bring his rook down and I capture it, or double up here. But this is well defended twice, once by the knight and once by the king. So I could take it, and then he steps out, and then I thought like this is a good time to double up my rooks, and this is a mistake, because this is a forced checkmate in 2, I think. 2, yeah. So yeah, 1, 2, checkmate. So it was a rough game. At least that's how I perceived it to be. I was 2 pieces up, but they weren't as active as his one. My 3 pieces were less active than his. I had 2 knights and a bishop. And I thought that they were less active than his 1 bishop, which is something I'm not too happy about. But at the end of the day, I played with 88.3% accuracy, which I'm really happy about. And he played with 78%. Yeah, so I played with 1850 estimated rating. My opponent 1650. Both pretty good. So this is my game of today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.